Hello, Mr. Scarecrow. I'm gonna take one of these pumpkins. I'm just imagining like whose grandma I got this shirt from the last time I was at Goodwill. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Halloweena. This is actually gonna be the very last episode of 2020. I feel like I'm like hiding behind this pumpkin. This is gonna be the very last episode of Halloweena for 2020. I know we're all really sad. I'm really sad. Spooky season is literally over and I'm really sad. I just said sad like 4 times, but I love Halloween. I love this time of year, and when it's over, I just get sad. I already gutted my pumpkin because if I would have tried to gut my pumpkin and like get all that pumpkin guts in my mom's fancy dining room, she would have gutted me. And I think you're supposed to like throw the pumpkin guts in the trash or like throw them like far away, because I guess like it attracts animals. They want to come eat that good pumpkin. They want to get that pumpkin spice. Okay, so the wild animals come in apparently, because I was just gonna dump it like off my porch right next to the house, but then I was thinking, what if this attracts like some crazy wild animals? Like what if this attracts a bear or something? I don't really think bears live in our woods, but they would come to get pumpkin spice. I thought it would be fun while I was carving my pumpkin to answer a bunch of juicy random questions to like get to know each other better. I asked on Instagram for you to ask me questions. I also found like random questions on the internet. I also asked like my friends and my sisters like what questions should I answer in this video, and I came up with 20 questions. Also, I was like looking through the list and I was like, there is not a single like Halloween related question. So basically we're just gonna answer personal questions while I carve my pumpkin. I found this design on Pinterest and it was basically like the cutout was like a Mickey Mouse head, and then in the center of the Mickey Mouse head, like left in the pumpkin, is the Fantasia Mickey. So like he's got his little wizard cap on. It was so cute. Well, when I went to print it out, our printer was out of ink, so I literally drew it on this piece of paper. Hold on, let me show you guys. That's what we're going for. Honestly, I tried to pick out something super simple because I haven't carved a pumpkin in like, also we keep our pumpkin carving tools in this dog bone. Reduce, reuse, recycle, you know what I mean? I haven't carved a pumpkin in at least 2 years, maybe 3, I don't really know, because like the last time I carved a pumpkin, the only reason I carved the pumpkin was because I wanted to be like cute and carve a pumpkin with my boyfriend and like take pictures, and like now the thought of like doing a fall activity just to take photos and look cute and look like your couple goals makes me want to gag. I was at home last Halloween, so I didn't get to carve a pumpkin. Don't come for me, everyone who loves fall, but I just like really don't like carving pumpkins. And the reason why is because I'm just not good at it. Like the reason I don't like carving pumpkins is just because I've admitted defeat when it comes to pumpkins. Like I'm not really that good at it. I should be doing something while I'm talking so that like not wasting everyone's time. I feel like pumpkin carving has kind of evolved over the years, and now people do the thing where you like, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know what it's called, but it's where you like cut out certain pieces and then you also like scrape certain pieces off the pumpkin. I have no idea how they do that, but I would love to learn. But also Halloween only comes one time a year. I don't like practice my pumpkin carving. I'm not a professional. I always F it up and end up cutting out a piece that you weren't supposed to, so then when you like look at it, you kind of have to squint and be like, it kind of looks like what you were trying to carve, but not really. So when I was a kid, I had 2 imaginary friends, and I just want to give you guys like the visual of what they looked like in my mind, because I think that part is the funniest part. So the first imaginary friend was a black man who had kind of like a loose afro, I think is what it's called. It's where like you have curly hair, but it's not like super tight. It's more of like the loose curls that kind of fall around your face. And because I have like some creativity, but not a lot, that imaginary friend was named Curly. Because he had curly hair. And then I had another imaginary friend who looked like, if you can picture like what those aliens look like at the ones that you can like get at the fair, that was what my other imaginary friend looked like. And his name, because I'm again super creative, his name was Alien. Okay, we have her taped up and ready to be poked. I'm gonna start the part where you guys know that you like poke around the edges. This part is the part that takes forever, so I guess just keep answering questions. So I feel like when it comes to major life goals, I think of like long-term goals, things that you like dream of. Basically, like major life goals, I just think of as like dreams. Like this is something like I want to accomplish so badly. I want to be an author. I want to publish a book. And I know for a while I was saying that I was writing a book, but I kind of go in and out of phases where I'm like writing it, not writing it. To be completely honest about the book writing process, this is gonna sound so crazy, but like a major theme in the book that I'm writing is love, because obviously like that's the main theme in every story, I feel like. But I was kind of writing about people being in love and falling in love and all this stuff that I really didn't have any experience with in the real world. And you know, a writer writes better when they write about what they've experienced. So I feel like there's a lot of scenes where like characters are kind of getting to know each other and they're kind of falling in love that I just like have chosen to rewrite now that I know what it's like to be in love. I don't know. Is that like super extra and annoying? I don't know. It's just like when I was rereading them, I was like, that's not accurate at all. Like that's not what it's like when you're like in love, you know? That's not what you think. That's not what you feel. And now I feel like, I don't know, like a lot of those scenes have like a fresh perspective and I like it. I also want to start my own company. I always say that when someone asks like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to like have my own business, like start my own company. They're like, oh, what do you want to do? Like that part, I don't really know, because I'm like so interested in so many things. Like I'm interested in fashion, I'm interested in makeup, I'm interested in like social media, I'm interested in like graphic design. Like honestly, the part that like really like makes me like, oh, I want to start a business is I love the marketing side of things. Like I love creating a brand, creating a logo, like things like picking out fonts for a logo. That stuff is like what dreams are made of. Another major life goal is that I want to own my own house. And I feel like as I've gotten older, especially like here recently, probably in like the last year, I'm just like so fascinated by real estate and like the housing market and just like how much like houses cost and like just even like the financing process of like getting a mortgage. I don't know, I think that is like so interesting. Maybe that's just like something that you get interested when you get closer to the age that like you might own a house. I don't know, but I want to own my own house. And by my own house, I mean like my name and my name only is going to be on the mortgage. Like I make all the payments. Like I want to be financially independent from like anyone else in the world. I also want to move to a new place entirely, whether that is like, I don't know, there are like dream places I want to move to, but a lot of those like dream places I've actually never even visited. Like I've always wanted to live in New York City, I've always wanted to live in Los Angeles, I've always wanted to live in Hawaii, and I've never actually visited any of those places. So what do you know, I might hate them, but I want to live somewhere completely new, like not even close to anywhere around here. So I have 4 siblings, and I've definitely gone through phases where I am closer to one than another. So I think when I went to high school at the same time as my sister Casey, we were like the closest we've ever been. We did everything together. We did like literally everything together. Like we were attached at the hip, we went everywhere together. We were best friends. I love each sibling for different things. Like my older brother is like so funny and fun to be around, and like everyone loves him. Like he's like everyone's friend. He's like that kind of guy. And doing anything with like him and his friends or him and his wife is always super fun. He's like really enjoyable to be around. Then my other sister Cecily is the sibling I'm probably the most like attitude wise, like our interests, things that we like, our hobbies. Like she's my sister that also has a YouTube channel. Like we have a lot of like interests in common, I guess, and so we spend a lot of time doing like hobby things together, I guess. Like we'll film together, we'll take pictures together, we'll, you know, do whatever. I also feel like we are the most like-minded when it comes to like a lot of things. So we like have really deep, like deeply personal talks. Like Probably the deepest I get with any of my siblings is with my sister Cecily. Then I have my youngest brother Colton, and he is like so much fun to be around because he's still really young, you know, he's 13, so he's like so fun to talk to, and like he always wants to do something active. He'll want to like, you know, like do something outside, or he like will always play like his really fun video games that he has. He tries to teach me how to play his video game, and I don't understand. But yeah, I love all my siblings equally. That was like a really long tangent to go on, but to be honest, my honest answer to this question is that if I don't marry my current boyfriend, I probably won't marry anyone. I'm not like the biggest like everyone should get married person. I honestly, I don't know how many times in life you can fall in love, but for the first time when I met my boyfriend, like I was like in love for the first time. And so I feel like, I don't know if like if him and I broke up, I don't know if like you get like another chance at true love. I don't know, but I feel like he is like I am so in love with him, and I feel like we were kind of made for each other. So like if I don't marry him, like I genuinely don't think I'll get married at all. My mom watches my YouTube videos and she hates the F word, so I'm gonna call them F boys. But I feel like F boys are like, they're different in different phases of your life. You know, I feel like when you're in high school, the F boys were like the seniors like hitting on the freshmen, but like the seniors that hit on the freshmen just to like take advantage of the fact that they were like young and inexperienced, if you know what I mean. Boys were always like, oh my gosh, like you're like so like, you're like so cute and innocent, like let me exploit that. I wish I was joking. Out in the real world in like my 20s, I'd never really interacted that much with like the male species because like I was in a relationship for such a long time. But I did meet this one guy who, like, he's probably like the biggest F-boy I've ever met. I like hung out with him, and I feel like I was at this point in my life where it was like kind of fun to hang out with him being an F-boy, because like it was like a game to me, you know? Could I like manipulate him the way he's trying to manipulate me? Like maybe he'll end up having feelings for me in the end, and then like that means I won because like I didn't have feelings for him, and that actually is what happened, and it was horrible. So I don't recommend doing that. Obviously gotta be Flynn Rider from Rapunzel, or not Rapunzel, I always want to say Rapunzel from Tangled. I wouldn't even like venture to say that he was the cutest of the Disney princes, but I think it's his personality. He's just really funny. I love how as time went on, they started giving the Disney princes more of a personality, because like in Snow White and Cinderella, like the princes literally said like 2 words. The answer to this question used to be Instagram through and through. I used to be an Instagram whore. I used to spend most of my time, most of my day on Instagram, taking pictures, posting stories. I still am a pretty active user on Instagram, I'm not gonna lie to you. But lately, especially in like the past month, I really don't F with Instagram's algorithm. I really hate it. I hate seeing like only the same 5 people come up on my feed, and they're not even like the people that I like really want to see, you know? And I don't understand what their algorithm is based on, but whatever it's based on, it literally sucks and I hate it. I don't know why this just turned into an Instagram rant, but it did. I would say that my favorite app that I waste the most time on is definitely YouTube. I consume the most content on YouTube, even more so than TikTok. I feel like there was a point where like I was getting on TikTok multiple times a day, and I would be on there for a while just like scrolling, honestly, because it was entertaining. But now that I like don't have as much free time, I'm actually like working and like doing other things, like I don't have time to like mindlessly scroll through TikTok all day, so I just kind of avoid it. I like won't even get on TikTok. If you asked me this question in high school, it would be way more than it is now. I think back in high school, it was a thing to take like the selfies like this, where you kind of have your arm is in the picture, and you're like actually holding the phone or the camera. I haven't taken a selfie like that in like 6 years probably. Like if I'm gonna take a picture of myself, I kind of have like either like a theme or like an idea in mind, like a really extra picture that I want to take basically. I feel like if I'm taking a picture of myself, it's like a self-portrait, but it's also like me like trying out new techniques with like my own photography and my own editing. So like a lot of the time I have like a certain vision in mind, and so to execute that like is kind of a process. If I have a certain idea, a certain picture I want to take, whatever, I'll schedule out a day, like one day of the week where I'll take like multiple pictures that day. So on that day I probably would take around like, I mean, it honestly just depends. I used to in high school, I would take like hundreds of pictures just to get one picture where I look good, or I look decent. Like I wouldn't even look good, I would just look decent. I feel like now I know my angles a little better. I'm a little bit more photogenic. I mean, I'm not like gonna call myself photogenic, but I'm a little bit more photogenic. So I kind of like, I guess more so know what I'm doing. So I would say on those days, I probably take around, just depending on like what it is. If I'm doing like one outfit, one look, probably around like 25 photos at the most. I wouldn't say I have fallen in love with anyone who thought of me as just a friend. So I feel like no, I haven't, but I've definitely liked someone or had feelings for someone who thought of me as just a friend. Kind of hurtful, because I feel like in a lot of situations where you're friends, especially if you're like good friends, which every situation off the top of my head that I can think of, we were like good friends, I feel like has always like kind of led me on and like led me to believe that they had those feelings for me when they didn't, which kind of sucks, because like then you end up feeling like so stupid because you're like, oh, he's doing this because he likes me, but really he's doing it because you're his friend. You know what I mean? But I've definitely had it the other way, where like guys who I was friends with like said they were in love with me. I feel like those types of situations are just like shitty for everyone involved. It just like never works out. I think this is like a huge cliche that like a lot of people have experienced. It's very relatable. I don't think like any of my best friends growing up, like I guess like they all had brothers, but like none that were like anyone I was ever interested in, you know? Now that I think about it, like I did have a best friend whose brother, he like had a crush on me, or like he liked me, or like he wanted to date me, but like he also liked our other friend. Like he just was like trying to get one of his sister's friends to like date him, and I was like, pass my home dude, no. I just got done poking holes in the stencil. I just hit myself in the face. When I say poking holes, it reminds me of that saying that's like, I'm gonna start poking holes. What is it? Like poking holes in your theory? I just DoorDashed some Taco Bell because I'm so hungry. I forgot that my mom's credit card though is on my DoorDash account, and I bought it with her credit card. I'm sorry, Mom. Why is the first person that came to mind when I heard this question was Donald Trump. So that's my answer, Donald Trump. Whenever I like tell someone that I make YouTube videos, like it's a hobby of mine, I think like 99.999% of the time, like everyone always like tells me that they think that's really cool, and they think that's like a really cool hobby, and they like always want to know like what kind of videos do you make, like what's your username so I can look them up, which I never tell anyone because I hate when people watch my YouTube videos in front of me. You're trying to kind of be entertaining, and like I don't know, just like people watching me try to be entertaining in front of them is like so embarrassing to me. So I hate when people like bring up that I have a YouTube channel and then they try to like play my videos in front of me. Like I really hate that. I mean, I don't hate it to the point where like I would be really mad at someone. So I don't really get hate for making YouTube videos, although there were people in my life who are no longer in my life, catching my drift. who just thought it was like weird and was like saying that it was kind of like a waste of time because nobody watches your that is so mean. But they basically said like it's kind of a waste of your time. Like if we would get into an argument, he would like use the fact that I made YouTube videos as a way to say that I was like unambitious and lazy and all of this stuff, because I have this hobby that's like, I mean, everybody knows that like making videos is kind of time consuming. Like you kind of have to like make time for it, which I totally think you can do, especially like when you have like a set schedule of like school and work and whatever. It's really easy to work YouTube into your schedule if it's like something you want to do and you're passionate about. Like it's a hobby that you can like definitely work into your schedule, because like I don't make videos because I want to make money. I make videos because I think it's so fun to make videos. It's like an outlet for me, you know? This is like not my job. Basically saying that like YouTube, like basically saying that like if I like chose to make a YouTube video, it was like I was choosing to not spend time with them and like all of this stuff. And it's like that's not really it. It's not it. I think also something I get from people, just like random people, is like, you make TikToks or you make YouTube videos, like you're so brave, you just like put yourself out there. I don't see it as like being brave and like putting myself out there, because it's just like something that comes natural to me. I know that like talking to a camera and making videos and stuff isn't something that like comes natural to everyone, but I just like don't even think about that. So whenever someone is like, you're so brave for like putting yourself out there and like making content on the internet, I'm always just like, what do you mean? The last time I cried, oh, okay, now I'm remembering. Okay, the last time I cried was when I was leaving my boyfriend's house to come back home. That was like a month ago. I was so upset to be leaving him. Obviously, like it's super sad no matter what, but I was just like so upset that I was crying real hard that day. I feel like this kind of goes with like the last video that I posted where I was like saying like 24 things that I've learned in 24 years. One of them was like, I was talking about how like a long distance relationship is like a lot harder than like I thought it would be, or like, I don't even know what I said. Being in a long distance relationship, basically like really high key, low key, whatever key, sucks. And I hate it, and it's like the worst thing ever, and I feel like I'm gonna die all the time. No, I'm just kidding. So I think when you're in a long distance relationship, communication is very important, because, you know, you're not with them every day. You don't get to talk to them every day. Like, you don't get to see them like every day. Like, it's not like you come home from work or school or whatever and you get to see that your significant other, and you get to like, because I feel like whenever I am with my boyfriend, we like make a point to like talk about like, how was your day? Like, what did you do today? And we like kind of recap everything that happened that day. And I feel like that's super important, especially for me. Like, it is part of like my love language, I swear. Like, talking and like connecting with people that way like is like how I show love, how I feel loved. And I feel like it's so hard to keep that up when you don't see each other every day. And so my advice is to like make time to talk to each other every single day, either like on the phone or like FaceTime where you can see each other. I would recommend FaceTime. I think FaceTime works like for feeling like you saw that person, you got that like, you know, moment of connection for the day. I feel like FaceTime works better because like you get to see their cute little face. I feel like we're kind of in a phase where like he kind of goes and does his own thing and I kind of do my own thing, and like I feel like there are days where we like won't even really talk at all, which is like why I'm saying like don't, like I don't even take my own advice, but like my advice is that you should take that time every day to like talk, because like I feel like the days when we don't really talk or like FaceTime are like the days that like I get anxiety and I feel really sad and like all that bullshit. So I just feel like it's really important to make time for each other every single day. I had a crush for sure on my chemistry professor when I was a sophomore. Then I found out that he has a husband, so that was like really sad. He was obviously like unavailable in more ways than one. So I have like YouTubers that are like my all-time favorite YouTubers, and then I have YouTubers that are like the YouTubers I am watching like at the moment. You know, there's like the classics like Bethany Moda and Shane Dawson and like the people that like I came to YouTube for, but then a lot of those creators kind of step away from the platform and they don't post as much, and I just like completely lied when I said that, because this is actually a YouTuber that I've been watching since OG YouTube. Like I've literally been watching her content for years, and that is Alicia Marie. I love her vlogs. I love her editing of her videos is immaculate. I love it. I feel like I take a lot of inspiration from her specifically because she's really like killing it right now. She's really like leading the way as far as like edits go, and I think that like, I don't know, I just feel like she's such a boss bitch. I love Adeline Morin's daily vlogs. I feel like she's probably my favorite daily vlogger. And I feel like a lot of people's like favorite daily vloggers are always like family channels, but Adeline is literally just herself and her dog, and she's always doing something so interesting, so fun. I also love Laura DIY's videos. I've been also watching her since like the OG YouTube. Her and Alicia are just two creators that like I have been with for such a long time, and I have like never lost interest in them. I feel like Laura DIY got a lot of like hate, I guess, for being like more family friendly and like more geared towards like younger viewers. And I was like, and someone tweeted at her and was like, I like came back to your channel after so many years because like you're finally starting to make content that like I'm interested in. And I was just thinking like, I've been here all along. I don't understand. Am I like too young? I don't know. Am I acting too young? And then, oh, another OG YouTuber that I've been watching lately is Ava Gutowski. Like I've been rewatching a lot of her old videos. I don't know why. Like I just like think she's so entertaining and funny, and like, I don't know, she was like talking about like moving to Europe and like the possibility of like living there because like her boyfriend is from Europe. And then she was like giving like a house tour or like apartment tour of like the apartment they stayed in, and it was so cute. And I just feel like her life just looks like, from the outside looking in, like her life just looks like so romantic and fun and cool. And I don't know, I've been like really obsessing over her lately, but not even like her content, just like her as a person. I don't really know. And then I actually just discovered Best Dressed on YouTube, and I love her channel. I love her content. I love her editing. I love the way that she like films her videos. I think she is really unique and amazing, and I love her content. And I cannot believe, like, I've heard people talk about her, but I don't think I just think that like I never got around to like actually checking her out. And then like one of her videos was actually recommended to me the other day, or not the other day, but like, you know, like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. I like binge watched all of her videos, and I think that she is just amazing. I love her content. And then another YouTuber that I actually just got into, like not really recently, but just like this year, like 2020, especially in quarantine, is Haley Pham. And I know that like I've seen her videos, but I think like at one point I wasn't really interested in her content because she was still like in high school and she was kind of doing like high school vlogs, and I just like wasn't really into that. Not to say that that's not like entertaining in its own way, but I think I was just in a phase of life where I was like in college. I just like wasn't really that interested in it. But I actually ended up finding her podcast, and I listened to her podcast, and so then I actually like went over to her channel to see like what she had been up to, because you know I just had like the recommended videos to me, like, you know, a couple here and there over the years, and I hadn't really like visited her channel since like she had graduated high school and like moved on. So I really got into watching her videos. I binge watched like all of her videos. I think she's really entertaining. I think her fiance is really entertaining. I love that they have a shared channel and they're talking about like planning their wedding. I feel like I'm going like this and I'm not even cutting anything. The most drunk I've ever been, I was drinking blue raspberry Smirnoff vodka. That's the most like blacked out I've ever been. And I think the reason is that stuff tastes so good. Like I had just turned 21. This was like shortly after my 21st birthday. So I wasn't really that experienced with alcohol and like how much you should drink, how much you can drink, because it was scary. Because like that whole like blacking out and not remembering like the end of the night gives me so much anxiety the next day. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? You mean from like, does this mean like from today? Because like I embarrass myself every single day. Probably the last embarrassing thing that happened to me was last week when we were playing flag football. You guys, my My lovely brother invited me and my sister to play on his flag football team, which was like so nice of him because like I never do anything athletic anymore, and that he thought of me to be like on his team where like people have to be athletic. Like, no, I'm just kidding. It's like all for fun. But I got open. I was literally like so close to the end zone. I'm just thinking of how epic this would have been if it would have worked out. But like open, I'm like, pass me the ball. My brother was being quarterback, so he was the one who threw me the ball. And he saw that I was open and he was just like chucked the ball at me. I think he had like, him and his friends had agreed that they weren't gonna pass it as hard to me and the other girls because like we're not used to catching a football, you know. He didn't. He just yucked it as hard as he could. Well, probably not as hard as he could, but like it was definitely pretty hard. And I don't know, like it just got lost in the lights. I couldn't see it. Apparently another guy like swatted it out of the air, but it was coming like right at me. And I think I hit it with like the palms of my hands. And it wasn't even that I dropped the ball because like everyone drops the ball. Like it happens the entire game. But it was the fact that like when the ball hit me, I just like fell backwards. Like it was just too hard of a pass. I don't know. I was so embarrassed. I was like, when I got up, I was like, I mean, it was like there and then it wasn't here and then I like fell. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just blacked out for a second. And I'm gonna go light it and get video of that so you can see the finished